All right, thank you very much. Welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. I hope our break was worthwhile. All right, so right now, we would not like to waste your time. We have, before we had our break, we had Oladoto Ajayi, and they've spoken really well. Before we went on the break, Oladoto Ajayi was going to be answering some of our questions. So I'm going to be reading out the questions right now for him so he can answer them. Hello, Oladoto Ajayi. Are you on the call? Can you hear me, please? Okay, hi. Can you hear me? I think your audio is still okay. Hello, Oladoto. I need feedback from you. You no, you're not audible. I think your audio is on mute. Can you check? Or is it just me? Can anyone hear him? Mr. Alanikpekun, can you hear Oladoto? No, we can't hear you yet. Sorry, is it just me that can't hear him? Sorry, I can't hear Oladoto. Can anyone from the audience hear him, please? No, I can only read your lips, Oladoto. I can't hear you. Mr. Olanipekun, please, can something be done about Mr. Oladotun's audio? I'm sorry, everyone, for this break in transition. We are so sorry. We're just trying to make sure everything is on point. We apologize. Hello, Mr. Oladot. Is it possible you could log out and log in again? All right. We're sorry, everyone. We're going to have Mr. Oladot in few minutes. Please exercise patience. Thank you very much.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, I can see the two questions. I think I would love to answer the first question from Festus. So he's asking how I was able to balance my academics and other areas of my life in becoming what I am today. Okay, so it starts from what I mentioned earlier, right? The best of you is in you. right, and the completion of using others, right. So I took the later um, word quite seriously because I understand that without, I mean, others, I'm not exactly complete, right? I mean, this that phrase is very contextual, right? And I already explained the different context to us during my session. So, as regards balancing my academics and other area of my life, as regards my academics, I wasn't doing it solely, right? I was doing with God, right, and with people that I know that are well academically inclined, like in quotes, because you're not doing anything aside academics, right? So I was trying as much as possible to also, be close to friends that were always in class, because I mean, I had a lot of traveling to do while I was in school, and in fact, I think for my two professional exams, I traveled for a speaking engagement in Ife before my hiring exam, and for my public health exam too, I traveled to Jos for a speaking engagement at the University of Jos, right? So I mean, it's just me understanding how to place priority on things, right? And how to also leverage people's, you know, prowess in that regard, because I was able to understand why I need to like speak with my classmates that were always in class to maybe explain things to me that I do not understand at that point. And I mean, making them explain those things to me at those instances actually made things quite clearer to me on that aspect, right? So I got to, I mean, have like a formidable relationship with those people, and they were able to, I mean, help me at times that I needed help in that regard. So, I mean, balancing in that regard um, is actually contextual too, because, I mean, in the real sense, there's no exactly balance, right? If you are trying to like say you want to balance your life, you want to balance your academics, you might even end up being trapped. You might end up being entrapped in that balancing codes, right? So understand that you just need to place your priorities right and do the things you're supposed to do part time and part season, right? For example, I wasn't expected to be traveling during my exam week, right? I can never do that, right? And that's me placing priority on my academics, right? Anything aside my exams. I mean, if I was to have maybe sometimes classes, I do travel, right, at some instances, because I know that I could always, get on materials, get on things that I need to read, probably on things that I missed, right? So I understood how to prioritize things at different instances of my life, and I was able to do that quite well and very effectively because I was able to like I mentioned, leverage on relationships and people that were able to help me to understand things that I might have missed in class or things that I might have maybe not paid attention to. So those were the things that actually helped me while I was able to, balance um every of the things that I did while I was in school as well. So to the second question I saw here, what's your advice for an undergraduate in an environment that is not so encouraging? Okay, so first is you need to step out of that environment that is not encouraging, because if you are just if you're in a place and a confinement where you're not getting motivation, you need to like go. I mean, for example, this academic environment is compulsory for you to be in, right? However, what you can do for yourself is to find a space for yourself with people that are like-minded, right? If you're not in a space where people are thinking like you think, you might maybe get um discouraged quite easily, right? So understand that you need to be in a space where people that think like you are, right? And if they are not even very close to you, try as much as possible to like commit yourself at some instances to those places, because that is where you get your inspiration. And I mean, with time, you can even come back to even replicate those inspirations that you got from those instances to where you currently are. For example, like I mentioned earlier while I was speaking, I had to travel from Gomosho to Lagos. My first travel, that was 2022, right, for an event, right? I wasn't getting the enough inspiration in Ogbomoso. That's why I had to travel all the way to Lagos, right? And I mean, I got very inspired in Lagos, and I had to bring in the inspiration I got in Lagos to Ogbomoso, right? And that's why I mentioned inspiration is not enough, discipline is. And coupling inspiration with discipline will help you achieve a lot of things, right? I cannot just be inspired alone. I cannot do anything with inspiration, right? What would help me with that inspiration is me understanding that discipline is enough and needed to couple inspiration, right? And that's why I was inspired by LinkedIn Local Lagos, and I brought that LinkedIn Local event to Ogbomoso. That's inspiration and discipline in place, right? So understand that you need to like get yourself into environments that is very encouraging, right? I mean, there are so many encouraging environments everywhere. And by the way, in this your environment that you said is not so encouraging, there are also sub environments inside that environment that can make you understand and learn so much more about community, right? For example, for example, Ogumosho, right? There are communities in Ogumosho, right? You might not just be aware of the communities, right? So in every community, there's a sub community. There are so many sub communities that you can be a part of, right? So just understand that you need to find your place, and if it's going to take a lot of time, you just have to like be very patient enough to get yourself into those community and environments. And to complete what you said in terms of availability of power, supply, internet speed, and many more needed resources. Okay, in terms of availability of power, internet speed, this internet speed, sorry, we're in Nigeria. In Nigeria we do now. So like just try to also just find force for yourself in that regard. For example, if you're trying to like if you're having issues with power, I mean, I think there's now a workspace in Ogbomoso that helps people just come around to charge their gadgets, work and everything. Just try to find those, hubs. And I mean, they're not very expensive. For a whole day, I think the hub charges around 1,000 naira or something, or 1,500 or thereabout for a whole day, right? So you can be able to maybe charge your gadgets. And I think there's only free Wi Fi, right? So just ensure that you get into a community that encourages these things, right? You cannot just be on isolation and expect to do great things. You need, like I mentioned, the completion of you is in others. You need others to thrive, right? You cannot thrive alone, right? Get yourself a community of people that are thinking the way you think, right? Get yourself a community of people that are like-minded, and by that you are trying to like encourage yourself and motivate yourself to do something greater than yourself, right? You need to do things that transcends time and transcends just yourself, right? So I mean, doing these things would actually help you achieve great things, and at the end of the day you'll be very grateful that you are a part of communities that I leverage, because communities are leverage, right? Communities are catalysts, right? And inside community you build relationships, right? So a sub benefit of a community is networking and relationship, because under community you get to meet people, right? So that stuff is like a chain like diagram or something, right? Community relationship, projects, right? Impact and everything, right? Just ensure that you get yourself a community, and at the end of the day, you'll be very grateful that you join those communities, and your life will never remain the same. So I think I've been able to do justice to these questions, and I've been able to give answers to them. So yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Yes, exactly. You really did justice to these questions. Thank you so much for coming to speak with us. We all do appreciate it. I'm very sure that some people might have more questions to ask, but I received a message from the convener. He said there should be a mentorship program that will be happening very soon. So they'll be able to ask their questions during that session. So thank you so much once again for coming. We
Yeah,
have learned quite a lot and we do appreciate you. Hello,
yeah, thank
everyone. I want to see your comments saying thank you, Oladoto Ajayi. I do hope we're still online. Hi, Festus, Prosper. Of course, it did justice to your questions. So please let us say thank you very much, Oladoto Ajayi. All right. Thank you very much, Oladoto Ajayi. Until next time, thank you. So right now we are going to be having the next speaker who goes by the name Abayomi Perez Oyekunle. But before he comes up, I just want one or two persons to type something in the comment section and say something that stood out for you in Oladoto Ajayi's session, in Mr. Oladoto Ajayi's session. Just type out something that really stood out for you. For me, he mentioned a lot of tips. He talked about leveraging. Yes, he said more on that. It's talked about failures. He said a
I'm
particular point
taking
where he
this.
said take failures as a feedback for the future. He said leverage on legacy, implement things beyond all you have acquired, and if you're not giving back to the community, then you won't attract the right people. And he mentioned something very key that he kept saying over and over again. He said the best of you is in you and the completion of you is in others. Thank you so much, Mr. Oladotun, for that. So right now, I'm still waiting for our comments, by the way, but you can type in your comment as I read Mr. Perez's biography. Okay, Mr. Perez, his name is Mr. Abayomi Perez Okekule, sorry. Leveraging 5+ years across innovation ops, social enterprises, and digital agencies, Abayomi Perez is a passionate force unlocking the entrepreneurial potential of underdeserved university communities. Its mission is to empower startup incubation and venture capital access, impacting over 12,000 teenagers and young adults through different platforms over the last decade. Abayomi's expertise extends beyond his current role as marketing or business development consultant and Innovate Lab. He is a sought after mentor, sharing his insight and collaborating with organizations like AfriLab, Babcock University, the Pan African University Institute of Life and Earth Science, and also Odd Prize. Abayomi is a catalyst for change, empowering innovation ops and the business they nurture. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's make welcome Mr. Abayomi Perez Okekule. Good evening, sir. Are you on the call, sir? And can you hear me, please?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me too?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah, I'm on the call. Um, Happy to be here. Thank you for the introduction, greatness. It's nice to meet you again. I think we were on another call some 3, 4 weeks ago, and you also anchored that event.
Yes, sir.
Good to have you here. And beautiful session, Oladotun, if you can still hear me. Oladotun has checked out of the call. That was a very beautiful session. I learned a lot myself just listening. And thank you so very much, Mr. Taiwo, for putting this event together. Men are products of meeting. Men are product of meetings. Men are product of meetings. You would hardly hear any man tell his story and not hear him say that, oh, I was at so and so meeting and I met this person, or at so and so meeting and I heard this person say XYZ, or at so and so meeting and XYZ happened to me. Men are products of meetings. So being here today for everyone is you paying the price for your future. And I want to celebrate you. And I want to thank you for finding the time to be here and just having the stamina to be around yesterday and be around today. It's almost 3 hours already. I do really celebrate you and thank you very much. Please, if you can just like send me my time via either WhatsApp or drop it here so that I can just time myself and work with that time. It would be a lot of good for me. And also, would you prefer for me to share my screen or you can share my screen from the, I already sent my slides, or you can share my screen and I just speak. Just let me know what works. Yeah, I'd just like to know how many minutes I have. And also, would you prefer for me to share my screen or you share my slides from your end? Okay, I'll just proceed to share my slide then, and we can move from there. Okay, if my slide is visible, can you let me know if you can see my slides? Okay, so I think what you would need to do is to take me out and put my slides on the screen.
Right. Okay, I think Mr. Olanipeku will be able to do that because I think he's the
Okay,
host.
okay,
I'll
please
reach out
let's
to
get
him
that.
now, sir.
Yeah. So while that is happening, guys, if you're still on the call, just drop a message. Let me know you're still on the call. Let me know what you have learned so far. I know that Taiwo spoke today. I met Oladotun. I know that doctor, I'm trying to remember his name now. There's a doctor from the UK that also spoke today. I can't remember his name right now. So if you're still on the call, just drop a message to let me know, hey, I'm still on the call, ready for this session. One of the slides I have is a slide where I was saying to you my promise. Okay, thank you. I can see that my slide is up now. Thank you very much. Yeah, so if you're still on the call, just drop a message. Let me know you're still on the call. Lest I forget, I'm here with some of my folks. I'm here with Damola. Thank you so much for coming around, Damola. I'm here with Julius. Thank you for coming around, Julius. I'm here with Samuel, and I'm here with Mary. Thank you so much, guys, for coming around. Yeah, my folks from Feka. So nice having you around. So I'm just gonna dive in. And please don't forget to kindly just let me know how many minutes I have so that I can time myself and work with time. So, yeah, I want to speak to you guys about career pathfinding. Yeah. And what I'm going to be sharing today is wisdom for
Please
finding.
speak on in the next 30 minutes. We will notify you.
Okay, no trouble. So, like I was saying, what I want to share today is wisdom for finding and growing in the right career path. And I'm going to be very, very fast for two reasons. Number one is because we you have listened to a lot of sessions, and a lot of what I'm going to be saying has been said before. However, there is a perspective and an angle that I would bring in that would be new. And this will perhaps be some of the most profound thoughts that you have ever heard about career pathfinding. And success really for me today is that I leave you with at least just one thing that will trigger you into an action, that will trigger you into a journey that will change the course of your life forever. So just give me your attention for the next 30 minutes. I'm going to be very, very fast. You might not get a lot of what I'm saying, but that's why we have the recording for you to come through it again. But what I want you to be doing is to be looking at for that one thing that is going to change the game for you. Like I said, my promise to you is that this will be one of the most profound sessions you have heard on career pathfinding. And if you invest your attention and act on what is taught, that's the wrong spelling, you would reap the fruits in time. Yeah. My job is to do my best. Every speaker's job is to do their best and like give you all that you need to excel. But you see, there are two sides to this thing. If you don't take actions like Dostum was speaking about, if you just have inspiration and there's no discipline to take action, you won't have results. Yeah. So be committed to taking action. Yeah. So, the first thing I want to talk about today is the fact that wealth is created when value is exchanged. And you may not understand why I'm talking about this. I'm starting from this end, but you will understand later down the line. Wealth is created when value is exchanged. And I have under here, I don't know if that is visible on the screen, but you would see under my screen, under the slide, where I said number one, wealth is equal to well or wellness plus health. That's actually the original meaning of health, of wealth. Wealth is two words that came together, which is wellness and health, coming together to form the word wealth. I started with that definition because I don't just want you to think about wealth and think about money. Yeah. Wealth is a lot of things that money is part of. Wealth is having your health in place. Wealth is having your mind in place. Wealth involves what happens to you in the afterlife. So wealth is all encompassing. Yeah. And I'm trying to say that the point I'm trying to make here is that wealth is created when value is exchanged. So wealth is wellness, all around wellness plus health. That's the original meaning of wealth. Number two, wealth is an abundance of valuable possessions or money. This is actually the dictionary definition. So wealth is actually an abundance of valuable possessions of money. And whether I would like it or not, see, when we speak about wanting to run, get your career right. I know that there's a part where you want to make change in the world, where you want to fulfill your potential. But there's also a part where people really want to be in a career. People want to have jobs because they need the money, because they want to live life well. They want to live life comfortable. They want to be able to give to people, give to their family. Yeah. And that's why I'm starting from here. And then when we speak about value, value is anything that is important to people or that is of importance to people. It should naturally be meeting a need or solving a problem. So we have spoken about the fact that wealth is created, money or valuable possessions or whatever the definition of wealth it is that you've caught today. You create wealth when value is exchanged. And value means anything that is important to people, anything that solves a problem for people, anything that meets a need for people is what you call valuable. Yeah. Let's just go on. It will make sense. So here's a quick example. I want someone to just drop on the comments. What was the last thing you paid money for? What was the last thing you paid money for? I'm taking a look at the comments. Just drop a comment. What was the last thing you paid money for? This is how I know you're following. What was the last thing you paid money for? I don't see anyone. Is there still anyone on the call? What was the
Yes, there
last?
is. The feedback is quite slow. Hopefully they will
Oh,
reply later. The feedback is quite slow.
oh, I see. So I'm just going to use it as an example. So what was the last thing you paid money for? Greatness.
Me, okay, I'd say transport.
Good. So the last thing you paid money for
Yes.
was transport. Yeah. So the service that person offered to you is what is called value. Yeah, because that person took you in his car. He spent fuel to make that happen. He spent his time. Yeah. So that service that he offered to you is called value. Yeah. And then you paid him money in exchange for the value that he uh, that he provided for you. And
What
then
is that?
in the process, you guys, maybe you should mute because I can hear
That's it.
you. In
Yeah,
the
comment on
process,
the question.
wealth was created. Yeah. So I use this example to just explain what I was trying to say in the previous slide, that wealth is created when value is exchanged. And in the example I just gave, the service that the bus driver or the taxi driver or the Okada man offered to you is value. The process of him paying you for that is wealth creation. So, this is to underscore the point of wealth is created when value is exchanged. And we've defined wealth as wellness and health or abundance of valuable possessions or money. And we've defined value as anything that is of importance to people. It should naturally be meeting a need or solving a problem. So the main point I intend to make here is that wealth is created when value is exchanged. For value to be exchanged, someone must be solving a problem or meeting a need that someone else is willing to pay for. This is the point I want to make. That for value to be exchanged, wealth is created when value is exchanged. For value to be exchanged, someone has to be solving a problem or meeting a need that someone else is willing to pay for. So here's the first food for thought that I want to leave you guys today with. What problems can you solve and get paid for today? That's the first question I want to leave you guys with. First food for thought. What problems can you solve and get paid for today? And that's the question I want you to keep close to mind. So as I proceed, the next question to ask is, so what does this have to do with career pathfinding, financial stability, and being wealthy? What have all the things that have been said today, what has it got to do with career pathfinding? What has it got to do with financial stability? Because already established that even if you want to make a difference in the world, a lot of the reason why you need to work is because of financial stability. And what does it have to do with being wealthy? Being wealthy is the big picture. Being wealthy goes beyond having financial stability. Being wealthy means having financial stability with all the other good things of life, having the right relationships, having your health intact, having your soul saved in the afterlife. That is why a lot of the top richest people in the world, they may be rich, but they are not wealthy because some of them are divorced. Yeah. Some of them are not healthy. Yeah. Some of them had to kill people or injure people in order to get to that place. That's not wealth. Yeah. Wealth is the blessing of God that makes rich and adds no sorrow unto it. Yeah. So let's make progress. So follow me on the short journey. Yeah. I'm going to just take you on a short journey in the next 5 to 10 minutes, and this is like the heart of what I'm going to be sharing. And I'm just going to check in again to see if I can see comments already coming in. Yeah, so I'm just going to trust that you guys are following. Greatness, I think I can see on the screen two, or let me see what I can do. Let me see if I can do something. Present. Okay, so let me see this. Because some of the faces, okay, so this solves the problem. This solves the problem, yeah? So let me take you on a journey and tell you a story. So before now, the days they will call the good old days. This was sometime around, excuse me, this was sometime around the 60s and the 70s. These are the days where you will hear our parents say something like, see, before you finish school, there was car and job and house waiting for you. Like there were so many jobs in Nigeria. Like those days happen. You hear our parents tell you that these were the good old days. You get money for going to school. You ate 3 square meals in school with chicken. And this happened really in this country, sometimes around the 60s and the 70s. And you had universities then, and you have the labor market. The labor market is where jobs are. Yeah? It's like the real world. It's life after school. And you will notice that people were being trained. Yeah, people were being trained in courses like engineering, medicine, law, and many of these other courses. And then when they get out of school, there were already jobs waiting for them: engineering jobs, medical jobs, law jobs, and accounting jobs. One of the key trend I want to establish here is that in the 70s, in the 60s, there were more talent demand than talent supply. What that meant is that there weren't as much people going to school then as there is today. That's one. Number two, there were more jobs in the market than there were amount of people who could fill those jobs. And one of the reasons for that is that Nigeria was just gradually becoming an industrialized country. Yeah. So more companies were being created, more industries were being created. There was a need for skilled manpower to fill those jobs in the market. Yeah. So the labor market or the workplace was looking for as much people as they can find to fill those jobs, and the compensation was really good because this in these days too, many people didn't really go to school. Or you see a family where maybe only the firstborn will be allowed to go to school, or the first male son, or the only son will be allowed to go to school so that he can cater for the rest. Yeah. So, and these were the good old days. And the key trend I want you to notice was that more talent demand happened than talent supply. So, and everybody was fine. Yeah. However, things progressed to what I would call the inflection point one. And this is when overcrowding started to happen. Because after then, let's say there is a young man called Akonde, and Akonde comes from a village called Ayetoro. And then Akonde went to university, and because of the good old days, Akonde got a car, got a house, and Akonde traveled back to his village. And everybody in his village saw that Akonde is now doing very well. And everybody now, the parents, everybody recognized somehow that education or getting educated gave you a chance to be financially stable. And so more people wanted to go to school. More people wanted to go to school. But remember that we have a fixed number of companies here, or the number of companies that are being created is not corresponding to the number of people that are leaving school. Yeah. So let's say, for example, there are 100 jobs in the labor market. Yeah. And 200 people come out of school. Yeah. And there are only 100 jobs in the labor market today. Yeah. what will happen is that only 100 people will be able to get jobs, and the other 100 people will not be able to get jobs. Yeah, and um, people, the rate at which people were leaving the labor market through retirement was not equal to the rate of which at which people are entering the labor market. In Nigeria today, um, we have about 900,000 graduates being graduated every single year. I hope I have my statistics correctly. But we are not creating as much as 900 jobs every year. You see that here. So what began to happen is the fact that overcrowding started happening in this labor market. Once upon a time, there were more jobs here than more people. Yeah, but as more people began to go to school, and the amount of jobs was not increasing, and I'll tell you why soon. Overcrowding started to happen. So the jobs became fewer, the people became more, yeah. And so some people were going to get jobs and some people were not going to get jobs, yeah. And the key trend I want you to notice here is that more people, in the inflection point one, when overcrowding started to happen, more people were going to school, but less jobs were being created, and the rate of retirement was slower. Yeah. But also, there is a second inflection point, which I call the digital age. And what technology did was that technology took away jobs, took jobs that were available. Remember that there were already fewer jobs here. Yeah. That the amount of jobs here was getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And the amount of people coming out from this place was getting more and more. But in the inflection point two, the amount of jobs available here, technology took some of them away. For example, as a result of the invention of the mobile phone, a, a significant part of the post office workforce was decimated. Yeah, a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of jobs that used to be around before were no longer needed because technology took those jobs away. Yeah, but technology did not only take some jobs away. Technology also began to create new kind of jobs. Yeah, jobs like software development, product marketing jobs, growth marketing jobs, product design jobs. Yeah, but then there's also a problem. Yeah, the problem now is that when you go to the university, what you are being trained in the university is things like engineering, things like medicine, things like law, things like accounting. I know many of you are from Lautech, so you go and study courses like LS, you study courses like agri engineering, you study courses like CEP and all of that. But as you begin to come to the world, there is no CEP job waiting for you anywhere, really. And there may not be accounting job waiting for you, really. So it's almost like as soon as you leave school, the training you received in school is not sufficient for you to get a job in the labor market. This then is it creates multiple problems. Yeah. It creates a lot of problems, and this is why a lot of people are employed or underemployed, why it's difficult for people to find the kind of jobs that they want and all of that. And the second point I want to make is that number one, you see the fact that school is not innovating fast enough to catch up with the demands of life, and that is why school is seemingly no longer, or many schools or universities, as the case may be, they are not really preparing people for the future of work, or preparing people to be able to function in the workplace when they come out to find a job, as the case may be. Yeah. Number two is the part that people are being cloned to become employees that can fill ready-made jobs rather than becoming creators of value. That's number 2 point. And you have to let me just go back to speak about the fact that one of the reasons why we had an overcrowded workplace here was because many of the people that were graduating were really just graduating to go and fill a job, graduate and go and fill a job. So the jobs got smaller. Yeah. Many of the people that were graduating were not graduating to go and create more jobs. You see that here. But one of the things I wanted to see is what I have here, which is the fact that the great goal of education is to transform us into problem solvers that can create value and exchange it to create wealth. You see that, right? The goal of education is to transform us into people who can solve problems and create value. You see that, right? So one of the problems that we had from the two inflection point I've showed you is that people, and let me just take a step backward and say that you find this problem repeating itself today. because everybody wants to just go and learn software development job and get an international job and start earning in dollar. Everybody wants to go and learn product design. Everybody wants to go and learn digital marketing. We are repeating the same problem. Those jobs won't be there forever. If every of us are trying to get skilled and get a job, right, there will be problem. We would experience the same thing that they experienced here. There will be overcrowding. So, and we also have new technology coming in. AI is also coming in and it's taking a lot of jobs. So you have to see that what repeated itself, yeah, in the digital age will repeat itself again. And so I'm just gonna share the wisdom that we need to be able to find a place in the future of work. Yeah. But there's a last point I also want to share, which is the fact that there is no excuse. We have to take responsibility for our personal education. Yeah. And do not misunderstand education for schooling. They are not the same. You may be going to school and not be getting educated, and you may not go to school and be educated. And if I be sincere with you, if I go back 10 years, I'm not sure I will do university the way I did university, right? The way I did university. I'll most likely do an open distance learning or part-time program that will give me more time to do life. So education is not schooling. Yeah. This is how Albert Einstein said it. He said the difference between education and schooling is that education is that which remains with you after school. Yeah, I remember in the days of strike, when we were on strike, I would tell my folks that do not let strike put your life on pause. Yeah, education is the building up of value in yourself, transformation happening within you to become a person of value. Yeah, let's make progress. So we have not spoken about the fact that there's a problem. Yeah, when you leave school, the certificate that you leave school with may not really be very viable in the real world. So there's that divide. Yeah. By the way, let me speak about it. Okay, I'll speak about this much later. Let me just go. So there's a gap, yeah, between school and the labor market. Yeah. And this is what the labor market looks like today. You have tech bros and tech Cs everywhere. Most jobs that you find today are tech enabled. Yeah. I already spoke about the type of jobs: software job, marketing jobs, product design jobs at Bebelo. And and I want to share with you how can you bridge this gap, the gap between school and the labor market. Yeah. And I've listed, I think, one, two, three, four, five, six. One, two, three, four, five, six. Yeah. 6 ways to bridge this gap. Yeah. The first is number one, find a financially viable skill and become excellent at it. Now, you will notice that I've highlighted the important words that I want you to take note of, and I'll speak about this more later. But the first thing I want you to note is find a financially viable skill. The important word to note there is the word skill. Skill. Number two, become excellent at it. The important word to note there is excellence. I'll speak more about that later. The number two is that now you have taken a course somewhere. I'll speak to you about how to find a skill, how to know which skill to get. But now you have gotten a course. You have taken a course on Udemy, you have taken a course on Coursera, you have taken a course on whatever it is. Yeah. But see, theory, your the skill you have gotten is not worth anything until you have used it in a real life setting. Yeah. So immediately after learning your skill, the next thing to do is to grow your skill through internships. Yeah. The next thing to do is to grow your skill through internships. And the world is now simple. Yeah. You can get internships with companies outside the country from your room in Lautech or Bomosho. Yeah. So the next thing you want to do is that you want to grow that skill. You want to grow the muscles of that skill through internship. Yesterday or 3 days ago, I was speaking to a mentor who was telling me about the fact that he knew a young man he was a student of Lagos State University, sorry, Unilag, and he took a 1 month break from school and went and did internship with KPMG. Or was it KPMG or PwC? I'm not sure. But I'm trying to say that you have to grow your skill through internship. That's the next thing. Number three is get free experience. I call it free experience from volunteering. Yeah. Sometimes you will leave. I'll give an example. One of my mentors wanted to recruit a student to, excuse me, please, wanted to recruit a student for a particular grant writing role, right? And this happened just this weekend. So he asked them to send their CVs. I know somebody may be hearing me now and say, I'm a student, but I'm not supposed to have a CV. No, that word does not exist again. we expect you to have a CV because we expect you to have work experience. Where would you get work experience for before you graduate? By the time I was graduating, I remember from school, then by the time I was graduating, my CV was 5 page. No jokes. By the time I was graduating from school, and this was with strike and everything. Why? Because I was using internships to grow my skill, and I was using volunteering experiences to get free experience that I can put on my CV. So to go around to get a job as a fresh graduate, in addition to my BSc or my BTech, I had like 5 other experiences that I've gotten from internships and volunteering jobs. You see that? And how do you get volunteering jobs? It's as simple as going to the school gate and seeing all the events that they have posted on the school gate and just call the phone, any phone number you see on any banner, and say, please, I want to find out more about this event. Do you have any interning roles there? Sorry, any volunteering opportunities? I want to volunteer. They'll put you in a team. You will learn. You will meet people. And I will speak more about this shortly. The number three thing is that apply for graduate training programs. And this especially applies to people who are just graduating right now, people who are already graduates, or who are passing out of NYC or who are NYC people. As far as I'm concerned, graduate training programs is one of the most viable ways to get into a job today in Nigeria. And it's again that time of the year, from July down to the end of the year, you would see one graduate training program after the other coming out. Yeah. Because of time, I'm not able to go and speak more about this graduate training program thing. But see, the concept of graduate training program is that many of these companies that you see today in Nigeria, from Flutterwave to Jumia, like just think about to GT Bank, First Bank, and all of these people, yeah, they are suffering what we call brain drain. Yeah, so people who are in mid-level roles in these big organizations and senior level roles are consistently leaving the country and leaving the companies. So those companies are consistently in need of new people to fill those roles. However, the skills that they need for people to do their work, people that are coming out of school don't have those skills. Yeah, they don't have those skills. So what they do is that they create an opportunity. They call it a graduate trainee program, where for like 1 year they will train you. Yeah, and after that training, they will pick the best of the best and offer them employment. And I've like a couple of friends who have gone into companies from that route. Yeah, but the key thing I want you to note here is that when you're applying for a graduate trainee program, what they will do is that if there are 500,000 people that are applying, maybe they are just looking for 500 people. So how would you pick 500 people? All of them graduate, all of them through one or first class. Um, how do you pick them from a crowd of 500,000 people? They will look at people who have experiences, people who have skills, people who have intent and learned from significant places. That's why these 3 things are important. So before graduate training programs, you need to have learned a skill and be excellent at it. You have gotten results with it. Number two, you need to have grown that skill through internship. Number three, you need to have gotten free experiences through volunteering. Number four, apply for graduate training programs. So as I'm concerned, like I said, in Nigeria, it's one of the surest paths to getting a job today. And number five, I stepped in. I heard Dr. speaking about this. Attend events and get exposed to grow your network. I know the team has spoken about this again and again and again, so I won't spend my time there. Number five or number six, invest in your mind via books and courses. And I highlighted YouTube. I'll hear people say that, oh, I don't have money to go and take a course. YouTube is the greatest university right now in the world. Almost anything you want to learn is on YouTube, free. If you are not learning in this world, it is laziness. It is not. It's not a lack of opportunity, really. Yeah. Um, yeah. So I'm just trying to say that I know that there could be real challenges, but I'm just trying to say that there is a lot you can do with the resources at your disposal. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Lord. So invest in your mind via books, and these are like if you do these 5 things, yeah. And let me say this: what I expect somebody to be doing right now, right, is to start writing your action points. What I expect somebody to be doing right now is to start writing your action points. For example, I expect somebody to be saying, okay, I'm going to learn a skill. Somebody is saying, okay, who can I go and I have a skill now? I'm going to, in the month of between August and September ending, I'm going to make sure I secure an internship. So I'll go and start Googling online how to find an internship. I expect somebody to be setting an action step to say, you know what? for the next 5 months till the year runs out, I'm going to make sure that every month I volunteer for at least one event. And what I'm going to begin to do is I'm going to go to school gate. I'm going to look for the event that I like the most, and I'll call the number on the flyer or on the banner and tell them I want to intern. Yeah, somebody is writing an action step and you say, you know what, every month I'm going to attend one event now, and you have your strategy for how you do that. You see that, right? Somebody is saying that, oh, every 3 months I'm going to read one book. Yeah, this is how you convert inspiration via discipline into results. Something that Dr. was speaking about before now. And I'll just make progress. So, how do you then find a skill? And this is like a big question that people get to ask. How do I find a skill? How do I know the right skill to find? And some people would say, "Oh, follow your passion." Some people would say, "No, follow what gives you money," and all of that. Now, there's no one way to this. However, there's a concept called ikigai, and I'm not going to spend time on it. It means a combination, a career or a skill or a life job, as the case may be, that is a combination of what you love, what you're good at, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs. And what I've found is that as a young person starting life, you are not likely to find your ikigai job when you are just starting up. You are not likely to find that job that it will be what you are good at, that will be what you'll be paid for, that would be what the world needs, that will be what you love. You're not likely to pay it. The journey into what we call your ikigai is almost a lifetime journey. And what you'll be doing is that you will be landing in different places that would consistently be taking you closer to your ikigai moment. Yeah. So really, my advice would be for you to find a job or a skill, as the case may be, that gives you an opportunity to grow, that gives you an opportunity for growth, and at least an opportunity for earning. Yeah. I'm one of those people that will tell you any day, anytime, I would choose a job that would give me an opportunity to grow rather than a job that would just give me an opportunity to earn more. Yeah. So that would be my advice. My advice would be, hey, find starts from somewhere that will give you an opportunity to grow and at least an opportunity to earn. Yeah. So my 3 steps for how to choose a skill will be: number one, hey, there's this interesting site called systempersonalities.com. Go take a test on system personalities. That test will tell you what your personality is, to tell you where your area of strengths are, and to tell you what are the career opportunities that are open to you as somebody who has the strength that it has identified. Number two, to say, hey, research each possible career options that you find from 16 personalities. These are practical tips I'm sharing with you, right? So let's say, for example, 16 personalities tells you that, oh, you will do well as somebody that will work in non-profit and social enterprises. The next thing to do would be to go and search for, hey, what are the different kind of, and you have ChatGPT, so it makes it easy. You go and search what are the different kind of careers that can be found in non-profit. What are the different kind of careers that can be found in social enterprises? Yeah, you make a list of those things. Yeah, then you go and now start taking those skills one after the other and be searching. For example, you hear something like programs coordinator. You put programs coordinator on Google. Who is a programs coordinator? What do programs coordinators do? How to become a programs coordinator? You go on YouTube, you search a day in the life of a program coordinator. You read, you watch, yeah. You go on LinkedIn, you put program coordinator, you find people who are program coordinators. You speak to people who are actively doing those roles. You ask them question: what does it take to be in this role? Are you making money in this role? What are the up and down sides? This is how, see, you have to put in the work. Yeah. Now, the third step is that pray and ask God for direction. I'm a believer. So if you believe in God and you pray, I'll ask you to pray, because as you pray and ask God for direction, pay attention to where your heart is leading you in the process. So this is, you are taking a test, you are researching here, you are asking questions, you're doing all of that. But as you do all of that, pay attention. God always speaks to us through our hearts. So pay attention to where your heart is going. Yeah. You will be able to find a skill. But see, this is a long process. Yeah. You can never be wrong. The Bible says that whatsoever your hand finds to do it well. Yeah. So while you are looking for that skill you want to learn, yeah, Whatsoever that is close to you, start from there so that you don't stay idle, so that you don't waste inspiration. Start from anything you're doing. So you learned mechanics, start from there. You learn theory, start from there. Like wherever you are, start there and move. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Yeah. I'm rounding off now. So I spoke about bridging the gap from an entrepreneurial route. And let me also say this very well again. When you are learning a skill, don't learn a skill to go and fill a job. That's why I called it entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is an entrepreneur, but that works within another company. Yeah. So whether you are an entrepreneur or you're an entrepreneur, you have to create value. You're not just going to go and fill a job. You see that. So I spoke about how if you're going to move from school to the labor market and you want to work in a company, that's the entrepreneur route. If you're going to move from school into real life, the labor market, and you want to set up a business, you want to start something on your own, that's the entrepreneur route, right? And these are my 6 steps for how to bridge that gap. Number one, find a financially viable problem to solve. Remember, I've spoken to you about the fact that wealth is created when value is exchanged, and that you exchange value when you solve a problem or meet a need that somebody is willing to pay you for. Yeah. So find a financially viable problem to solve. That's the first thing. Look at the world, look at what is happening, and just find out is there a problem I can solve? Be on the lookout for problems. You see that, yeah? Yesterday I spotted a problem. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna put in a proposal for this. So spot a problem, find a financially viable problem, a problem that people can pay you a lot of money for. Yeah. Number two, gain and you notice that I highlight the important words. Gain as much knowledge as you can about the problem. And the highlighted word here is knowledge. Number two. I've seen a lot of people trying to do businesses that they know nothing about. People just want to make money. You have to get knowledge about that industry. You have to get knowledge about that field you're trying to play in, right? Number three, get training from the best in that field. So knowledge and training are not the same thing. Yeah. So for example, till date, yeah, I've been doing marketing and digital marketing for maybe 5 years now. Yeah. But you know what? I'm currently in that training. There is a growth marketing course. 2 weeks ago, I paid for trainings. Last week, I was still looking for training because for you to grow, you have to consistently getting training, but not just knowledge. Go and learn from people that are better, from the best, because sometimes it is not just the knowledge that makes a difference, it is the know-how. So there is a way that person that is the best, there is a way that that person is doing it that you not yet understand how to do it. And when they have a course that is 100,000, 150,000, 50,000, 10,000, 5,000, you pay and you attend. You see that, yeah? So you get training from the best. And by the way, everything that applies to people that I've spoken to about entrepreneurship also applies here. So some of the things that applies here also applies there. Something that applies there also applies here. Yeah. Number four, find role models. So I wrote something in my notes yesterday. In your life, you're gonna have role models, you're gonna have coaches, and you're gonna have role models, coaches, and you're gonna have teachers. Yeah. But a role model is someone that looks exactly like where you are going to. Yeah. So, for example, how to find role models as somebody who wants to do a business is that you pick your business, for example. Let's say you want to go into fashion design. Yeah. So you go and search for who are the top 10 fashion designers in Nigeria, who are the top 10 fashion designers in Africa, who are the top 10 fashion designers in the world. Yeah. You take a look at them, the ones that look like where you are going to, collate all of them. Those are your role models. If I unshared my screen right now and I showed you my screensaver, you're going to see the faces of my role models. Yeah. And you read their stories, you read the stories of the companies that they have built and this they have built. As you do that, you begin to see a map. A map will begin to emerge, which will be a map that will show you a clear line of action between where you are right now to where you should be. You see that? Sometimes you can do this on LinkedIn. When I see people that I admire and people that I want to become, I go on LinkedIn and I begin to look at their career experiences. I look at their education. Oh, when they were at this level, this is what they did. At this level, this is what they did. At this level, this is what they did. It now shows me a clear career path. Let me say this. See, success has a formula. It has an exact formula. You can understudy it and you can replicate it and you can get the same results. Yeah, I heard this from one of my friends, Shoda Adekunle, and it had never left me about 5 years ago. And let me share the story of how he shared it. He said that one day a friend visited him in his house, and the friend noticed a book on his table. And when his friend opened the book, he saw the names of people, let's say John C. Maxwell, and he will see John C. Maxwell, he will see got married at so age, has so number of children, made his first millionaire at so age, built his first company at so age, built his second company at so age, built his third company at so age, became a billionaire at so age, went to so school at so age. And his friends was wondering, why are you doing this on people's life? And my friend Sholana responded and said, see, success has formulas. You can understudy it and replicate it to the later. Yeah. So this is very important. Find role models, understudy their lives. And as you do that, you will see a clear map of the things you can do to move it from where you are today to where you should be. Number two, get mentors. The difference between a role model and a mentor is that a role model is somebody that you admire from a distance. You may never have the opportunity to meet that role model, but you can tap into the knowledge of a role model from their resources. But a mentor is a coach. A mentor serves you with their presence. You cannot have a mentor that you don't talk to. Yeah, the mentor maybe somebody that is 10 years ahead in that field. Most times, I see people trying to start businesses. You don't have a business starting a business sometimes. You have learned a skill and you want to convert it to a business. Sometimes, what you should do is that you go and work with someone who is a senior in that field. Work with them for 3, 4, 5 years and gain knowledge before you go start up your own business. Yeah. So get mentorship. The way to do mentorship sometimes is to go and get a job, even as an entrepreneur. Get a job in the field. So I've seen many people that have built companies, but they had to go spend some 5 years in GT Bank. They had to go and spend some 10 years in GT Bank to learn how money works. You see that, right? And lastly, be excellent. Excellence stands you out. Yeah, be excellent. Whether you are a student, and let me say this: I've heard people say that school is scam. That it doesn't matter what you graduate with. Believe me, at this level of my life, I know that it matters what you graduate with. There are programs you want to apply for that you won't get admitted to. Yeah, because of what you graduated with. In this year alone, I've seen maybe 40 different 40 opportunities for young people who are leaving secondary school to get full scholarships in very, very beautiful universities. But for you to get that scholarship, you have to maybe have scored above 250 in JAM, above 300 in JAM. So don't let anybody deceive you. Excellence stands you out from the crowd and it creates unique opportunities for you. And that's why I said that excellence is one of your greatest leverage. Yeah. And what does it mean to be excellent? To be excellent means to be exceptional. One, what does it mean to be excellent? To be excellent means to go the extra mile. What does it mean to be excellent? Excellent means to belong among the top 1% in a field. What does it mean to be excellent? And I love these last two definitions. To be excellent means to be consistently striving to better your best. Yeah. So, for example, while I was creating this slide today, I was intentional that I wanted to create a better slide than the last slide I created. That is excellence. To consistently be striving to better your best. In short, for me, this is the best definition of excellence. Yeah. To be consistently trying to better your best. Yeah. And lastly, excellence is to make yourself very, 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 very hard to replace. Yeah. That's excellence. To make yourself very, very hard to replace. Yeah. And then I think I'm going to stop here. That's the last that I said I was going to be very, very fast. I spent 42 minutes, 21 seconds. That's progress. So I'm going to end here. What's the most profound thing that you have learned today? What is the most profound thing you have learned today? And what is going to be your next move? What is the most profound thing you have learned today? And what is going to be your next move?
Wow, thank you so much, sir. I must say that that session, your session is quite inspiring. Thank you so much for giving us tips, and thank you so much for also giving us ways by which we could also act on these tips. One thing that you said that I should start doing is to find a problem and solve it, and to be always excellent no matter what I do and to take whatever I'm doing very serious. If it's education, career, lifestyle, I should always take it serious and I should pay attention to where my heart is leading me or where my heart is going. And then you also spoke about God. God is the ultimate help, is our ultimate help, and is the one that has the ability to direct our
Yeah,
path accurately. Thank you so
that's right.
much, sir. Those were very profound words. I'm super sure that we have people on YouTube, Facebook, and Telegram as well. But the feedback is quite slow. And I
Yeah,
feel maybe, I
I
don't know, maybe
figured.
they are having issues commenting or something.
Yeah,
But
I figured. I
yes,
figured.
sir.
So
Yes,
what I'm
sir.
just gonna do is that I'm just gonna round up
Okay.
with Q&A. So if you have questions, you can drop questions. But while the questions are loading, I curated a list of resources. Now, just because I tagged this resource for entrepreneurs doesn't mean it's for entrepreneurs alone. See, anybody that reads these resources will be adding a lot of value to their life. Yeah. So I have one that is mostly for entrepreneurs and one that is mostly for intrapreneurs. Yeah. And every resource you see here, for most of them, you can click on them and it just take you straight. So that I've hyperlinked them. So you can click on this, for example, and it will take you straight to that resource. Every resource you click on, they are clickable. So if you click on them, it will take you there. That's one. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. I'm not going to run you through the resources. Seven Forms of Wealth by JD. That's my pastor. I'm a mentor. No, before I go there, the Bible. So you notice that I put the Bible first and I put it. See, I don't know how to say this, but the Bible is not a religious book. That's the truth. And this is not a religious statement. I was still at a conference yesterday. Why you see, yesterday I went to get trained, and I spent about 8 hours listening, also getting trained for my destiny. You see that, right? And I remember a doctor from Covenant University came and spoke, and he spoke about the fact that the Bible made him smart. Yeah, so the Bible is not a religious book. It makes you smart. You read mathematics to become a mathematician. You read economics to become somebody who understands economics or an economics, as the point may be. The God of the universe decided to condense his wisdom into a book called the Bible. How smart do you think that book is going to make you? And by the way, if you understand the Bible, what else can't you understand? That's by the way. But the Bible is my number one book. Yeah, my number one resource. So read it. Yeah. Before the year runs out, I'm planning to listen to the entire Bible as a stretch from start to finish. Listen to everything. Just listen. Yeah. So make a Bible project. Try to finish the Bible at least once every year. Seven Forms of Wealth by JD. This will open your eyes. So, because some of you may be saying, I was going to add some testimonials to this slide, but I forgot. I had one of my younger brothers reach out to me today and said that, oh, he got a program, and that program, other people are paying 1 million naira for that program, and he got it for 100,000 naira. Other people, I know other people are, because I know the person that is doing the program, so I know that other people paid 1 million naira. Yeah. So some of you may be saying that, oh, I don't have capital, I don't have money. If they ask why you want to do something, you say it's money, it's money, it's money. There is something called the seven forms of wealth, and you can click this link to go to that. JD talked about it. When the guy finished, the last time I listened to this, what I told myself is I'm rich, because I saw that money is just one of the other forms of wealth that I can use to exchange. Yeah. Jeff Bezos is one of the richest men in the world. And for 14 years, he would write letters every year to the shareholders of his company. When you read these letters, some of them will be boring, some of them are really interesting. But this link will take you to all the letters. You will learn a lot. Imagine you have the opportunity to sit down with somebody like Elon Musk and have him just speak to you. That is what these letters give you, right? I recommend Richest Man in Babylon. Oh, I forgot to put the writer here. But Richest Man in Babylon, you can just search for the PDF of this book or buy your copy. My book is my library is my biggest investment. Yeah, that's like the largest thing I own. When you come to my house, that's the largest. That's what I've invested the most money in, probably. Biggest investment. Started building my library from when I was a teenager. So, and books are very cheap. Highest 1,005. You buy this hard copy. Buy on the line. It's an investment in your future. Your children will thank you for it. Your future will thank you for it. Rich Dad Poor Dad by W. Kiyosaki. Great by Carol Dweck. The Science of Money by Brian Tracy. Choma Ifeanyi Eze. is somebody I recommend you follow. She's the powerhouse. If ever you, I will go on Facebook. Especially if you're interested in doing business, I'll go on Facebook and I will try to every day I'll be going back. Yeah. Anything you read from Transformative Ages page from 5 years ago is a banger. Yeah. So read as much as you can read. You will find opportunities. You will meet people on that page. You will be exposed to opportunities. So follow Transformative Ages on Facebook. I recommend her. So this is for entrepreneurs. For entrepreneurs, again, the Bible. I'll recommend the book by my friend. This is my personal manual for anybody that has questions about career and purpose. I'll recommend the book Walk on the Wheels by Timidayo Salako. Amazing book, amazing lady. I happen to have been there when this book was written, and I know the value that is in this book, so I recommend it. The Life and Success Toolkit for Fresh Christian Health Corpers. Again, it's under resource by my mentor, Uncle JD. If you are a copper or an aspiring copper or a fresh copper, this is one resource that you should get. I'm telling you, right? There's Growth Mindset by Carol Dweck. There's Clarity Hangouts. This is a teaching I did sometime last year. It will bless you a lot. Where I was just helping people get clarity about purpose and destiny. And there is Dr. Azu. If you want to do well academically, follow this man. If you want to do well in career, follow this man. I'm telling you, that was the man I was saying that he said that the Bible made him smart. I met him yesterday. Dr. Azu, follow him. I'm telling you. And there's Dr. Masmuro. Dr. Masmuro has these 3 books called the Potential Series, which is uncovering your potential, releasing your potential, maximizing your potential. There are 3 books. They call this Potential Series. Read them. They will change the game for you. And remember, I spoke about praying to God and then listening to your heart. God can speak. So I created 2 resources to help you understand the voice of God, so that God can speak to you, because God wants to speak to you. Yeah. So I recommend The Voice of God by Pastor Joshua Solomon and How to Be Led by the Spirit by Kenneth Hagin. Most of the resources here are free, except you can get this for free, except this resource. I think it's about 2,650. Yeah. Feel free to connect with me. Mr. Taiwo has this slide, so because he can share with you guys, but feel free to connect with me via email, WhatsApp, or yeah, anywhere. Thank you very much for your time, guys. Blessings, 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 blessings. Yeah, I'll stop here.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. Like I said, thank you. That's mind blowing, and thank you for giving us resources that we can go back to. God bless you abundantly, sir. So we might not be able to take questions this night, but Mr. Olanipeku, I mean, the convener said that there's going to be a mentorship session very soon. So every question will be taken during that session. So be able to answer every questions that our audience has for you. So thank you very much, sir, once again for coming. I believe the convener has something to say.
Thank you for
Hello.
having me. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Hello, Mr. Alanik Peku. Can you hear me, please? You mentioned you'd like to say something. Hello, sir. Okay, sir, I have a question. Let me just engage you a bit before Mr. Olanik Bekun comes up. So, my question is that what are the action steps
Yeah,
that.
hello. Can you hear me?
All right. Yes, we can hear you. Okay, I think Mr. Landbeck is off again. Let me continue my question. So I said, what are some actionable steps individuals can take to scale up their visibility in whatever industry that they want to go into? You spoke about skills, how to know the kind of career opportunities, we search for career opportunities. So when a person has done all of this, chosen a skill, how does a person build visibility in that particular industry they are going into if there's a need for that? Hello, sir. I can't hear you, sir. Hi, sir. I still can't hear you, sir.
Mr. Perez, we can't hear you. We we can't hear you. Can you hear me, sir? No. What's going on? Okay. I think I think it's out. Oh, it's back.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Okay.
we can hear you now.
Okay. Greatness, can you quickly just repeat that question? Okay, I'm not sure Greatness is on the call again because I can't see her backstage. Um, okay, I think she's back now. Yeah, Greatness, I was saying that can you kindly just repeat that question? Can you kindly repeat the question?
Oh, I'm very sorry, sir. My network, I had issues
No,
with
it's fine.
network again.
It's fine.
Okay, my question is, what are the
Mhm.
actionable steps that an individual can take to scale up their visibility in whatever industry they decide to go into?
Okay. I was almost going to say that Taiwo has answered that question in a session because I saw her speaking about personal branding. So my first answer will be go and listen to Taiwo because I'm sure she did a very good job on that. My next thought would be, hey, find the platforms that work for what you're doing and just share your journey as you're going. Yeah. For example, WhatsApp is one of my most pronounced platforms, and I consistently share what I'm doing on WhatsApp. I've shared about this event today, and also try not to overblow your trumpet. Yeah, just share like a learner as you're growing. Also, what you can do number two is every platform has what we call an algorithm. Yeah, every platform has what we call an algorithm. So what you want to do is to understudy the algorithm of that platform and see how you can grow your reach, how you can grow yourself, how you can grow the reach of your social media handle, as the case may be, on that platform. Yeah. So that would be my two quick tips. Share your journey as you go. And number two, learn about the algorithm of the pages and know what kind of content, when to post. It should just tell you the basic things that you need to do to be able to hack that platform and grow on it. Instagram has its algorithm, YouTube has its algorithm, LinkedIn has its algorithm, Twitter has its algorithm. Just Google 2024, the name of the platform, algorithm. You will learn a lot. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, sir, for answering that question. And thank you very much for coming on to come and give us a lot of value. We really do appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much once again. Hello, Mr. Alanipekun. Do you want to say something, sir?
Yeah, Mr. Perez, don't go yet. Oh, Mr. Perez, don't go yet.
I'm here. I'm here.
I'm not. I'm not here to. I'm not here to steal the show. No. Thank you so much for. I mean, making time out for us out of your tight schedule. I know you are out of a meeting to come. I saw your effort. Thank you so much. This masterclass is not going to be just this. So we are still going to have another one. Yeah, because I realize that the problem that our undergraduates, fresh graduates are faced with is more. We cannot exhaust it in an event. I
Yeah.
must be sincere with you. Thank you for the results that you are sharing. I will it will interest you to know that some graduates, as we are talking now,
Yeah.
cannot write simple CV.
Mm.
Mr. Perez, you are in the industry,
Yeah.
you know how that goes.
Yeah.
I know a
True.
young man in Ogbomosho
Yeah.
that help graduate, I mean 300 level students writing CV for graduates to go and look for job. What have we become?
Mm.
How did we get here, Mr. Perez?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's all.
Mm.
An
Mm.
undergraduate writing CV for graduate to go and look for job is
Mm.
another. I started consulting, coaching graduates. Most of
Mm.
the people that took my private coaching, they were graduates,
Mm.
first class students, only
Mm.
to know that they barely know nothing aside that course they have first class in.
Mm.
Those are the things that gave us the passion for this.
Yeah.
I recommended a guy for a job.
Yeah.
I told him what they will ask. When he get there, what he should say. By the time he got there, Mr. Perez, this guy was literally fumbling.
Mm.
They had
Mm.
to tell me such a person should not even pass you, not to talk about reaching us. True life story.
Mm.
But they take pride in their CGPA. There is there is a lot. Now,
Yeah.
how to maximize your career potential? You have talked. Taiwo Joseph has talked. Oluwaseyi Akanbi has talked. He has an extensive experience. You yourself, you have talked. You yourself is an embodiment of experience. You have worked with the likes of JD, Mike Tomlin, all these people. Now we brought you to come and speak. It will interest you to know that it is people that want to transition from one level to another that join the call. Even the people that actually needed it, they are not yet to be found.
Mm.
And I know where the problem lies. As I am
Mm.
now, I'm a Christian by the grace of God. If a church call me to come and talk to youth, young people, I will go. But if I find out it's a church and it has something to do with life and career, I will charge them.
Mm.
You know why, Mr. Perez?
Yeah. I follow you. People do not value what things that they get on a platter of gold many times. I still there, Mr. Taiwo. It looks like you logged off. Hello, Tata. Are you still there? Greatness, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. I think he's having network issues.
Yes, he's back. He's back. He's back.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, perfectly.
Can you hear me?
Perfectly. I can hear you perfectly. I
Can you
can
hear
hear
me
you.
now?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Oh, good. Like I said, somebody told me I somebody told me I don't need CV to get a job. It will just come. It's a favor market I'm going. And I said, even the church secretary in my church need a CV to get it. I mean, those are the things we are battling with, Mr. Perez.
Mm.
So, be, and not just that it's failing, it's just that it's not matching up with the current requirement,
Mhm.
the current economic requirement. And they told him there's nothing you're coming here to do, but you are leveraging recommendation of probably people that we know in the company.
Okay, Latana, it seems Mr. Um, Taiwo is having a lot of network issues. Are you still there? Greatness, are you still there?
Yes, yes, I am. I am still here, but he's
Yeah,
having network issues. Hopefully,
yeah,
it gets back soon.
I got that. Yeah, and I'm also supposed to jump into another meeting by 10 p.m. I have my folks waiting for me already. So maybe I'll just
Oh,
hang around for maybe another 60 seconds, after which I may need to exit.
all right, sir. If he doesn't come back,
Yeah.
Perez alone, we are going to have people that will be able to walk you through these processes in 4 weeks. And as that is coming up, we'll be needing your assistance again.
Okay. Greatness. I have to leave now. But again, I get the spirit of what Mr. Taiwo was is trying to speak about, which is the fact that a lot of people are not taking advantage of the opportunities at their disposal, or because it doesn't cost them anything. I get that he was trying to say there's going to be 4 weeks mentorship after now, and was also trying to speak about how that he's going to need our attention at that time too. We are happy to be around, happy to be a part of what you're doing, Mr. Taiwo. I think you're doing a great work, and one of the mindset I always work with is the fact that Paul sows the seed, Apollos waters, and God brings harvest. You will never know how far-reaching this event has gone. The seeds that have been sown in people's hearts. That is one part of the job. Another part of the job will be close mentorship, sitting with people closely and just mentoring them and seeing them flourish. After this call, I'm jumping into another session. Is a mentorship session I have with some of my folks, and most of them were here for this event. Just again, going to sit down with them and ask them, "Oh, what did you learn? How are you going to be applying that?" So yeah, I get the spirit of what you're trying to say. And happy to be a part of what you're doing. I salute you, sir, and thank you for the amazing work you're doing. Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and God bless you, sir. Greatness. Just meeting you again. I'm hoping that one of these days I get to meet you in person. Bless you.
Sir. Thank you very
Take care.
much, sir. It's a pleasure to really meet you again, sir.
Yeah, take care. You too.
Yes, sir. All right, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for sticking with us till this moment. And if you are listening to the recorded version, I hope you learned quite a lot. And if you are still live, I hope you learned quite a lot. Of course, you learned quite a lot. I did learn a lot. And I just want to tell you something that with everything that you've learned, please try as much as possible to act them out. Don't just come and learn. Practice everything that you've learned. And of course, go back to your notes and they would definitely help. Well, this is a 2 day virtual career masterclass for both final year students and fresh graduates. And the topic was the point of leverage, maximizing your career potential. And we had Mr. Abayomi Perez from Assist Oluwaseyi Taiwo Joseph. We had Oladotu Ajayi, and we also had Mr. Oluwaseyi Gbadebo. And a big and huge gratitude to the convener, Mr. Olanipekun Opeoluwa, is the founder of MindCraft Africa. Thank you so much for putting this together. We all do appreciate you a lot. So, one advice that I'm going to give to you tonight is try as much as possible to connect with everyone on this call, or try as much as possible to also connect with the speakers. I hope you remember everything that our speaker said that you should leverage on relationships. Thank you so much, everyone, for having me. My name still remains Greatness Latono. And until next time, have a great night rest, everyone. Good night. Bye.